Katsumoto says something in Japanese to the man, the Japanese samurai who's been attending, watching over Cruz. One, to make sure he doesn't do anything he shouldn't do and get into trouble, but also that he doesn't rebel and try and hurt people. And the guy runs off, and he brings back Cruz's book. And Cruz didn't know it was still around. He thought it was lost in battle. And Katsumoto gives it to him. And Cruz looks at it in surprise. And Katsumoto says, I took this from you when you were my enemy. And in giving it back to him, he bridges the gap. And they're no longer enemies. And that's how Cruz becomes the last. He adopts the samurai way of life and the samurai way of thinking. And that all generates, it's all predicated on Katsumoto, just Thomas Edison just sitting there, and something comes to him, a vision comes to him. All the great religious prophets all around the world, they get visions. Now, if you don't want to be religious, then we just disregard that, but maybe you shouldn't disregard the fact that when you meditate, visions can come to you. They can be real. So the point of all of this then is, why bother to study philosophy? Any of you going to be philosophers, by the way? But that first video we saw said if you even think about things, you're already philosophizing. You just may not be philosophers yet. But if you at least give yourselves the opportunity to open. Remember I said your deepest fear is not that you're inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you're powerful beyond measure. It's the light and not the darkness that frightens you. Playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so people around you don't feel inadequate. I mean, I'm a loose cannon, people. I'm freaky to a lot of people. They go, wow, what were you eating for lunch today? I mean, things pop out of my head, and I'm not afraid to share them. I mean, you know, I don't make you eat the same cheese I eat. But I always share a meal with everyone who's around me. And when you let your light shine, you automatically give permission to those around you to do the same. When you're liberated from your fears, your presence automatically liberates those around you from their fears as well. And really, I quote that every semester whenever I do motivational talk. That is at the heart of opening your mind and your heart to ideas, to grow. Doesn't matter if you want to be a philosopher. Doesn't matter if you ever use it when you leave this class. It's just while you're here, this is a safe zone. It's a place where you can just be open, and if you learn something, you learn something. Hopefully you learn enough to pass your tests. It's an opportunity. That's all it is. Philosophy is an opportunity to grow, to think. Everybody hear me okay? Now, before I let you go, you're going to go early. From a rational point of view, discuss the differences between foundationalism and constructivism. Foundationalism is based on the concept that we have innate ideas. We're hardwired, a priori reasoning, and these ideas are built into us, and if we take a little time with reason, they'll pop out, and we'll see these truths, these innate truths. These things that are universal and absolute, and they don't change. Thou shalt not kill. Be kind to your neighbor. What you sow is what you reap. Innate truths that never change. We may not apply them, but they never change. Now, in our culture, pay it forward. You reap what you sow. So these truths are there, and a rationalist will say they're embedded in the human spirit. We manifest them in different ways. Sometimes they're culturally colored different ways, but we manifest them the same way. And they're innate in us. That's a rationalist. A constructivist says that these truths are culturally created, and they vary from culture to culture. And there are no such things as absolute rational truths. Well, you can make a case for both ends of it. Do not get caught up in thinking it's A or B, but there's nothing in the middle. One of the great lies is, well, it's either A or B and everything in the middle is just gray. No, it isn't. It's called alternative ways of looking at things. Everybody with me on that? And we can find common ground. Doesn't mean we agree. I'm an extremely opinionated person, but I try my best not to even share my personal opinion because I don't want to get in the way of your thinking. I don't want to get in the way of your opportunity to grow. to figure something out for yourself, to come to your own epiphany, come to your own awareness. Say, wow, I never knew that about me. You know, it's been there all along. You just had to wake up to it, that's all. No harm, no foul. Some people get it at the end of their lives, people. Some people suddenly get this amazing epiphany at the end of their lives. And some of them even write it down, and it becomes a guidepost for the rest of us. Some of the great thinkers in the world come to their revelations at the end of their life. And some get it so early, it's amazing. So how does someone that young get that? You know, they follow the same principles. It doesn't change. We're all human beings. We're all born with capacity. And if we just open ourselves up to that capacity, that capacity, what's already in us, very close to rationalism, innate ideas, but our capacity to put information together through senses, through perceptions. There's an opportunity there. If you want to take it, there's an opportunity there. So that's your essay question today. Shouldn't be hard. You can either write it. I would encourage you to maybe do audio or an audio visual. Your quiz, you need to be boned up for that, okay? And if you're good with that, then you should do well this week. I'll see you next week. Red light, green light when you go home. If you came in late, come up here. Let me know you're here.